All right, the Chicago Bears get some massive news following the afternoon games here in Week 15. Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. New at-home office. The plan long-term is to open up this closet, put some stuff on the shelves, kind of like I had stuff behind me at my own studio, but in a much better place. Audio should be better. We'll double-check that before publishing, but still got to tinker with some lighting, but back with our normal equipment here for the most part. But the Bears are back in first place in the NFC North after beating the Browns today, and the Broncos beating the Packers, and the Rams beat the Lions. From that standpoint, you could not have asked for a better day if you are the Chicago Bears. You win, you get help from Denver, and Detroit loses as well, inching you closer to a playoff spot. Just a fantastic day for the Bears. Now, Rome Odunze got hurt in warmups. That wasn't great. Luther Burden got banged up with an ankle injury, but there were bigger injuries across the NFL, including a couple with your hated rivals, the Green Bay Packers. So that's a pretty significant deal, if you ask me. But we'll talk about all that and more here in just a moment. But let's just take a look. This is where the NFC playoff picture sits as Sunday Night Football has just gotten underway. The Rams, who beat the Lions, which again, you could debate which was better. I think first steps first, that's making the playoffs. So Detroit losing and falling to 8-6. That means if the Bears beat the Packers next week, not only would they be a game and a half up on Green Bay with 2 weeks to go, they would also be at minimum 2 weeks up on Detroit, or 2 games up on Detroit. And if Detroit loses or ties next week, if the Bears win, the Bears would clinch a playoff spot. So I think that was a good result. Obviously, the Rams and the Seahawks will play with first place in the NFC and in the NFC West on the line next week. But I think in terms of the playoff picture, you could not have gotten a better day if you are the Chicago Bears. I mean, seriously. You won, which was step number one. The Rams took care of the Lions, and most importantly, Denver took care of Green Bay. Now, if Green Bay beats the Bears next week, they're back in first place, but it was still critical, or at least helpful, to get help from the Broncos. Let's say even the Bears lose next week. You're only a half game back with 2 weeks to go. There's still a world where the Bears could win the division, whereas had Green Bay won today and then beaten you next week, well, you're not winning the division. Now, obviously, we don't want to think that way. You just want to win next week. And now, if you do win next week, like I said, you're a game and a half up with 2 weeks to go. You'd be in a really good position. The magic number would be 1. You would just either need to win one of your final 2 games against San Francisco or Detroit, or Green Bay to win or lose just one of their final 2 games if you can beat them next week. So the Bears find themselves in a very, very good position with 3 weeks to go. I just appreciate the focused effort from Chicago today. You could tell they embraced the elements. The crowd was fantastic. Caleb Williams played well. The defense was flying around. And that kind of set the tone for the day. This is one of those days you want to play early. Get the noon game out there, get a dub over a team you should get, and then sit back, get into the rehab room, and watch Green Bay and Detroit and see what happens. And they both lost, which was awesome. You almost got another assist from Old Man Rivers as he threw a touchdown pass and actually looked okay for the Colts against the Seahawks, but the Seahawks were able to get a late field goal to win that game 18-16. That one was more important for really the number 1 seed picture, because now it's guaranteed, at least for next week, that the winner of Rams Seahawks will be in the number 1 seed heading into week 17. But those aspirations are still alive if the Bears were to win out and the loser of the game that wins next week were to lose one of its final 2 games. But we'll worry about that later. All in all, really good day for the Chicago Bears as they now sit on top of the NFC North and in second place in the NFC playoff picture with 3 weeks left. I think we would have all signed up for that. All right, I do want to get to some big injury news here in a minute, but today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks, best daily fantasy sports app out there. Get signed up today at prizepicks.com/CLNS. It's the holiday season, the best time of year for sports, basketball matchups, bowl games, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right. That is Prize Picks. I nailed a 3-player Prize Picks lineup early today. Took more than half a touchdown pass for Caleb Williams. Took more than 33.5 receiving yards for DJ Moore and more than 30.5 pass attempts for Shedeur Sanders. That was a $20 lineup to pay out $65, so that was fantastic. That's an example of what a lineup can look like. You pick 2 or more players and take more or less on their stat projections. I got another one going right now. Let's just double check. Dak Prescott, more than half an interception. I think Flores' group will get him once. And then I took more on Justin Jefferson's receiving yards. He's due for a big game, and Dallas doesn't have a great secondary. $20 lineup to win $60 there. Check out Prize Picks today. Download the Prize Picks app. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in the lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in the lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Okay, some major NFC injuries. That didn't even include Patrick Mahomes, who tore his ACL in the AFC as the Chiefs got eliminated. That's going to be a huge storyline leading up to next season. But ones that directly impact the Bears here, Micah Parsons, who the Packers fear to have torn his ACL as a non-contact knee injury. I don't know if that's 100% official as I'm filming this, but that did not look good, and it does not sound good. The Packers are fearing a torn ACL. MRI will confirm or not confirm that tomorrow, but I'd say pretty good chance that happened, which that is huge. If Micah tore his ACL, not only is that a huge impact for next week's game, that changes the complexion in the NFC, because what's made the Packers so dangerous this year is that when Jordan Love is on, and you kind of had the full roller coaster today, good first half, bad second half, well, Micah Parsons can be a closer with his ability to rush the passer. If he's out of the fold, that is a massive blow for Green Bay. Christian Watson had to go to the hospital with a chest injury. He landed hard on his shoulder and his chest, so we'll keep an eye on that. He has been on fire since returning from injury, but he's kind of made of glass. He gets hurt a lot. And then Devontae Adams with the Rams appeared to pull his hamstring. He's been kind of battling a hamstring injury, and on a deep ball came up limp midway through the route. And those are 2 major contenders in the NFC dealing with big-time injuries. Adams with the Rams, and then Parsons and Watson with the Packers. You factor in the Patrick Mahomes injury, big day for injuries in the NFL. And obviously for the Bears, Rome Odunze gets hurt in warm-ups. We don't know his status, so a lot going on, but that Micah deal is significant. I mean, you just cannot downplay the importance of that. And we don't cheer for injuries here. We never will cheer for injuries here, but it's big news, and it's big news that impacts the Bears directly, not only next week, but for the rest of this season. As, is this one of those years, and it kind of feels like it, where it's wide open, and it's just battle of the attrition. And I know the Bears have had a lot of injuries themselves, but they haven't really had those catastrophic season-ending ones. Tremaine Edmonds, you're hoping he gets back. Now, Kyler Gordon, I'm not anticipating him to return, but, maybe you can overcome that. Jalen Johnson looked better today, had an interception. Hopefully Rome, even if he misses next week, can at least return for a game or 2 before the playoffs. So we'll see, but it kind of feels like it's just who's going to be healthiest, and can the Bears make a run? Why not? Why not the Chicago Bears? I mean, again, just look at the playoff picture right now. The Rams, I still think the team to beat, but Devontae Adams, hamstring injury. You got the Bears at 10-4 there. The Eagles crushed the Raiders today, but they don't scare me. I think that's a team the Bears could beat in a playoff game. The NFC South, by the way, I mean, what a joke. Neither Tampa or Carolina even belongs in the playoffs, but one of them has to get in. Seattle's obviously dangerous, but they struggled to beat Old Man Rivers today. San Francisco's 10-4, but they've had like the easiest schedule in the NFL. They have a lot of key guys out for the year. Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, to name a couple. They put Brandon Ayuk on the season-ending reserve list. Kyle Shanahan said today they haven't seen him in a month, so pretty easy decision there. Packers, Micah Parsons probably out for the year. Christian Watson, we'll see what's going on there. Detroit, on the outside looking in, they've got some injuries. It's kind of one of those years where you got to take advantage. It's not an all or nothing year for the Bears. It's a little bit of house money year one with Ben Johnson, but sometimes in sports you get one of these weird years where there's a lot of injuries, and the Bears are vibing right now. If they could find a way to beat the Packers next week, they are very close to clinching a playoff spot and would be in very good position to close out the NFC North, and then who knows? You're chasing the number one seed after that if that ends up being the case. So that's where things sit right now. Great day for the Chicago Bears as a whole. We'll, of course, have updates on Rome Odunze and that whole situation tomorrow or as we get them. So be sure to subscribe and follow us for up-to-minute content here on Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. Go enjoy Sunday Night Football, the rest of the game at least. That's what I'm going to do. Dallas needs to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. Enjoy it, fellas. 10 wins. 10 wins for the Bears. What a year they're having, and it ain't done yet. Hit that subscribe button, and as always, bear down.